let the family we're overrun. Send them boys in the trucks with the 50 cals. Tell every swinging dick bring extra rounds. Hang in now, boys, we're on our way. Don't send them out of heaven before we get a taste. Whoa, cry havoc, let's slit the doors and roar. What you gonna do? And happy Sunday to you all. It is Sunday. I'll explain in a minute here. October 5th, it looks like that you're watching this. Hey, guess what? This is recorded. This is a pre-recorded. We are not live. This is a pre-recorded because ya boy is going to be fishing down in Pueblo, Colorado for the Colorado Kayak Bassmasters State Championship. Qualified for that earlier. I don't do a lot of tournaments anymore, but the field op season is concluded. And this is one we've been looking forward to. Going to go down there, and we're fishing different these days. You know, I've got the love for being outdoors. So there's wind reported. There's all kinds of this and that, and I honestly couldn't care less, right? I'm excited to get down there with a bunch of anglers that I miss and get down there and fish. So by the time you're seeing this, the results should be posted, and we'll know who the Angler of the Year is. We're pulling, obviously, for our TPO family brother, Mr. Jason Lovell. He has a shot at the Angler of the Year in the CKB, which is no easy task to accomplish. And he's got a shot at that. Then I think it depends on how many people sign up, but we're going to be sending 2 or 3 people to the Bass National Championship, Bassmaster National Kayak Championship next year. You can send 10% of your field. So if you got 20 people that signs up, you can send 2. If you get 30 sign up, you can send 3. So we'll just have to see how that works out. See how many people actually do sign up for that and go forward here. So it's a 2-day event. The wind's looking like it's going to be crazy, but we'll see what happens with that. Again, we are not live. This is pre-recorded. Okay, so if you are seeing this and I'm not responding to you, that's why. Chances are I'm just barely getting home right now. I'm going to be wiped out, going to be pretty tired. So yeah, we went ahead and recorded this little season wrap up. Before we get going too much further, every episode of the Double S podcast on the Heroes Media Group is brought to you by the Romans Warrior Foundation. Hashtag helping is healing. Check out romanswarriorfoundation.org. Check out this awesome organization. We just did a post on social media not too long ago, a couple days ago. Go check out that post if you're interested to learn more about the Romans Warrior Foundation, its missions, and the awesome divisions there and how we're connected with them. Check that out there. They do sponsor our podcast for this entire season. Let's see here. And of course, Adam Bird, the entire all the great podcasts that are on the Heroes Media Group. We're proud to be a part, one small little gear in that big machine there, the Heroes Media Group, and its sister organization, HMG Beverage. Go check them out. Coffee. It is top line quality coffee. If you're a coffee kind of connoisseur like myself, you'll dig HMG Beverage, veteran-owned organization. Check them out there. All right. Again, we're not live. Tonight's episode's a little bit different. We got no interview tonight, so it's just my ugly mug you're going to have to deal with. But we wanted to go down. Our field op season has pretty much wrapped up. Now, we'll still do like special event field ops, like where we travel and go, but our access to Stanley Lake is now done for this season. That comes back next May 1st, roughly. And so between now and then, we do a couple trips here and there, but this begins our administrative season, and our fundraising efforts start to really kick into overdrive. We start getting our planning for next year. Next year's going to be a big year. We're going to give you some wrap-up stuff. We just sent out a sponsor thank you letter to all of our sponsors and donors over this past season to give them an idea of what their support was able to do for us. And I'll tell you, it was a banner year. 25 was we've saw never seen before. And what's kind of ironic about it, and I don't mind saying, we had less resources in regards to people power to get the job done, and we actually doubled our efforts. In some cases, tripled the amount of work and contact that we had with people out there. So damn proud of our team. My body's feeling it, obviously, and we're constantly on the looking for some help in the operation side, people that can help take guys out. But nevertheless, proud of our little team, proud of our organization, what it does, and above all, just beyond grateful for the supporters that have continued to take care of us over time. Hey, don't forget, while you're here, go smash subscribe, either at True Patriot Outfitters or at the Double S Podcast. Either one works for me. Just make sure you're subscribed out there to us. We want to make sure that this is punching through and that we're getting this information out there where it needs to be, and on the rise through that stuff. And it's a love-hate relationship. I got to tell you, the whole social media thing. We'll get into that here in a second, but it is what it is. We use it for communication outward. We don't do much with it when it comes to a call to action, just because we've never really found that it actually works worth a damn, to be honest with you, when it comes to a call to action. People's attention spans like 8 seconds, 12 seconds or whatever. Dude, that's like a moth, all right? I mean, that's a moth looking at a freaking porch light at that point. So we don't really want to play into that or deal around with that kind of mess. So we choose not to. We basically just use social media to show folks what we're doing out there and try to share the impact, the positivity side of things as we go there. So, before we get going too much further as well, let's talk about real quick some of the big stuff hitting in the news here. If you watched on Friday, I was subbing in for Adam Bird. As I called myself, I'm the Timu Adam Bird on the HMG Weekly Wrap Up there, and we talked about some of these things that are here going on in the news. Probably the biggest thing from this last week has got to be the government shutdown. Each side blaming the other side, blah blah blah, same old routine. It's kindergartners fighting over a crayon, dude. It really is. I'm sorry, you can't sit there and blame just one side anymore. Takes two to tango, dude. And this is all this is. Both sides playing stupid, playing dumb, not willing to budge with each other, and some of the antics that are falling off. But I got to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little heartless about this, but I don't really care. I just don't. Shut the government down. Fine. Whatever. It's not going to ruin my day anymore at any level here. I refuse to let it. You know what I mean? There might be some inconveniences. Oh, woe is me. But and I'm sorry that some people are getting furloughed and don't get their checks. But you know who is still getting their checks? The idiots that shut the government down. You want to spend some time getting riled up about something? How about we take a peek at that? There is a congressman, I believe, who has presented a bill. I believe he is out of South Carolina. He has presented a bill up that will state, I don't know what else is in it. I haven't read the bill, so I can't speak educated to it. I've only saw this in a headline, so I didn't get a chance to really dig into it. But what he wants to propose is that if the government shuts down, Congress and Senate stops getting their paychecks. Because guess what? While they furlough people, they keep getting paychecks. They have no incentive to work and do something. Their mortgage will still get paid. Their bills are still going to get covered. I don't know about you, but dog, why is it 2025 and we're still talking about this stuff? So these jokers in Congress, number one, how many times have you heard the term, if you're of my age, you've heard this a few times, term limits. Remember when some people tried to get term limits talked about so we could stop the career lifelong politicians from sitting, and decomposing in Washington, D.C.? Why is it that still hasn't passed? So before you want to blame either side, it's because you're talking about their livelihood. Politicians. When you start to understand that nobody's clean up there, dog, nobody. This, at some point, we as the people need to start demanding this stuff. The fact that the government can be shut down and these a-holes can still be pulling a paycheck while they're laying off other government workers, furloughing others, military personnel, depending on where they work, may not be receiving pay right now, depending on where they're at and what their MOS is. These kind of things. Now, will they get back pay? Yeah. This bill that this congressman is proposing would prevent back pay even. Hell yeah, it'll get shot and killed. It'll get blown out of the water. No one's going to pass that up there from either side. A few people will use it to grandstand, but there'll be just enough support to kill it. You watch. Or we just won't hear about it anymore. It'll fade off into the distance, just like term limit discussions, just like gerrymandering discussions, all this kind of mess. All of a sudden, redrawing districts went away now. The two got behind closed doors and found some a ceasefire between the thing. Whatever. Just rather interesting, man, that this kind of stuff. These guys don't pay taxes either. So no wonder they don't. You've got a group out there of individuals who don't mind raising taxes on you around every freaking corner. And of course they don't mind, because it doesn't affect them. They'll tell you every reason in the world why you need to do it and why we have to do this and we have to raise the debt ceiling and we have to do this, do that. I think Pelosi was quoted as calling inflation a global economic phenomenon. Boy, that certainly does explain a few things, especially of the most recent 4 years. If it's that much of a mystery to you as what causes inflation, my gracious. My gracious. At any rate, we could go on about that mess forever. But yeah, so paychecks, yeah, support it. Kill it. They shouldn't get paid either. What do you think? Chime in your opinions here. Again, we're not live, but I'll check your comments when I get back. We'll chat about the whole thing there. One other thing I want to talk about here, and I'm curious to get your feedback, so leave some comments on this. Talk to me about what your thoughts are on this. There is a local business here in the metro area, well established. They've been around a while, and they don't necessarily rely on social media whatsoever. They have great grassroots word of mouth because they've been in business for a few years now, and so they stay very busy. But the owner of this business, we've actually done some work with them as well. The owner of this business has had enough of social media. It's bombarded him to the point, and it's messing with his overall well-being. And so he's making a conscious decision to withdraw from social media personally. He's getting out of it completely. He wants off of it. Well, when he does that, it's going to take out his pages as well, which includes his business page. And they just put out an announcement that in the next 2 weeks or so, they're leaving social media completely. They're backing out. They're just going to shut it down, and they're going back old school. That's how they're going to communicate and do business. They'll use Google, they'll use emails, they'll use signage, they'll use word of mouth. I got to tell you, I'm a little jealous. How do you think we at the TPO could, obviously the podcast would have to stay on YouTube at least. Facebook, I know a lot of people tune into us through Facebook for the podcast. But man, there are good things about social media. It does offer an ability for people to connect and chat. I think the biggest issue might be on the phone, right? But what do you think, man? What a way. Imagine if you could get a wave of that going across the country. You'd have to use social media to start the wave. The only people you'd have left are a bunch of people that, really that social media becomes their entire life. That's their only, social interaction is through that. That's how they define themselves, is through the likes and follows and such. That's whether they decide whether or not they're a good person or not, right? It's an interesting deal, man. I think he's going to do fine. I think the organization's going to do great. love to have him on the podcast one of these times here, if possible. But I'm pretty excited to see how he does this, and we'll see where it goes with him. The other night, wife and I were talking about this. There's an issue running around out there when you think about what's coming down the pipe. Think about society and how we, as societal members, contribute to the overall good, contribute to our local economy, contribute to our communities. There are a large percentage of people out there that are making a living off of social media. TikTok, YouTube, whatever. And for the longest time, people have admired that. Like, oh man, if I could only do that. Please, dear God, don't. Because I want to ask you, what are these people contributing to? What are they building? Right? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I'm throwing it out there to you. What are they giving back to? I mean, who are they helping? What are they doing here? Sure, they make money and they can financially support their family. But what are they doing for us as a community, as a town, as a state, as a nation, as a species? What, you're sitting there making, videos? That's what you're doing? Interesting. I don't know. When you think about stuff, man, that's a little scary. You hear these people talk about the trades. You hear them talk about the what AI is doing to certain tech fields, things of this nature. Man, I think this might be a little bit even more damaging about what's coming down the pipe, and that is just nobody contributing anything of real value. Just really isn't. Entertainment, I'm sorry, is not going to take you that far, and that's all that shit is. Entertainment. Time suck. So I don't know. Anyway, so as we said earlier, sorry, I got a printer over here going off. It decided it wanted to print stuff now after I sent it about an hour ago. Field op season is complete. So pretty much our field op season, this is one of the challenges we have living where we live. We run through May, June, July, August, September, a little bit of April, a little bit of October, right? So by the time it's said and done, it's about 7 months is what we get. Because in between that, a lot of our water access is cut off. They don't allow kayaking or any activities on the water across the state. It isn't just Stanley Lake, it's across the state. A few state parks remain open, okay, year round. Not very easy for us to get up to those. The ones up north are not even, the one up north that we have up there isn't a real productive lake. It's pretty small. Not really a great outing. I mean, it's an okay kayak fishing destination, but or kayaking, I should say, destination, but it's not a great fishing destination. Kind of is what it is up there. The probably the best fishery we have during this time of the year is Pueblo Reservoir. That's 2.5 hours from us, and that's on a good day of traffic. Denver metro traffic is just absurd, and getting down there when it's normal Denver traffic, it can take 3.5 hours for us to make it to Pueblo one way. That makes it difficult to put a field ops event, or it makes it expensive in the fact that we got to go down there and stay the night of, one of the two. Nevertheless, so we have that challenge, right, to get through the season and pack in as much as we can in a given short period of time to get things in there. And so having the proper planning and great teamwork and amazing sponsors and support, man, is so critical. All of those things have to come together for that perfect storm to just really hit just right for us to do what we need to do and get out there. And this year, man, that came together. I would be lying if I said it was easy, because it wasn't. I'd be lying if I told you that every day was a great day, that I woke up and was ready to go. There were some challenging days, man, where the body didn't feel great. I didn't feel great. Kind of beat up, schedule going nuts. 92 things on my head, trying to get all done at one time. But we did. We got up, we socked it up, pulled our boots on, and went out there, man. And every time we did it, we felt more and more grateful and thankful to be able to get out with our brothers and sisters and get them on the water, see the healing impact that it had. In 2023, we measure engagements of how many of our engagements. An engagement is anytime the TPO goes out into the public, be it a show or be it a field ops, and the fact that we're out there representing in some fashion or form with our HOW events or whichever. And in 2023, we had 22 total engagements. Of those 22, 18 of them were field ops events. Okay, and that was our best year. That was our year 2. And we felt pretty strong about that. Well, check the numbers this year. This year alone, we had 42 total engagements with participants or the general public. So we literally almost doubled. Actually, I think the number was 43 because I think I'm forgetting one that we did. It was a golf tournament that we went up to. But 42 total engagements. Of those 42 engagements this last year, 36 of them were listed as a field op or a HOW event that we did this year. Well, when you go on it, I did a low averaging of roughly 3 people per event that we did. That puts us somewhere in the neighborhood of 108 or so, 110 veteran first responder contacts that we were able to have, and family members throughout these events. This is literally represents we doubled our output. Now, what makes this even more, as I said earlier at the top of the show, we lost some folks, some volunteers at the beginning of this season. For one of them was deployed. The other guys just apparently their schedules just weren't going to work out for them, so they stepped away from being able to volunteer with us, and that took us from having 3 other additional members to help with these events, and left 3 only. One guy in the Springs, 2 of us up here in the metro area. And yeah, dude, it was a challenge. But what I'm so damn proud of is Jason Leval and Justin Bricklin, the way they kicked in from their physical support, their mental support, their networking ability, their representation of the TPO to collaborators, to the general public. These 2 guys, they're my brothers. I love them to death. They stick in there. They deal with my butt. They deal with my scatterbrainness. And they have a heart for this mission. They want to help where they can. They want to share their passion for the outdoors with as many people that we can in an effort to bring that healing, bring that bonding and camaraderie. And we did it, man. Like I said, 18 the first lat in 23. We doubled that output this year with less people. So proud of the team and proud of the work that we did, because these, hands down, Stanley Lake fished amazing this year. We'll get into a little bit of that. 6 special engagements that we went through, and I believe it's 7 because, like I said, which included the Southern Colorado, Arkansas River Festival in Pueblo. Thank you, Lindsay Martin. Love you, appreciate you for bringing us down there. Thornton Fire Department Peer Support Weekend. Amazing group of firefighters in Thornton. Thank you guys so very much for allowing us to just come in there, and hopefully next season we can sponsor even on a bigger level and bring some kayaks in there and take the kids out. Well, it was just an amazing, tons of families there. That was a great deal. Johnstown Shields brought us into the fishing show. One of only a couple people they allowed into the fishing show for nonprofit work. We were very, very honored and pleased to be there for that. That was a great outing up there in Johnstown Shields. The Sportsman's Expo in Auburn, Nebraska. Our man, Kayak Jack, Mr. Marty Hughes, invited us all the way over to Nebraska there. What a fantastic show that was. Made so many great contacts. A couple guys that are going to help us get our Nebraska presence going out there. We love fishing in Nebraska. Love the anglers over there. Fish with them any chance we can. And yeah, see, it's an area that can use the support, so we want to be ready to get in there. And that was because of Marty Hughes allowing us into that expo. Pikes Peak Rodeo went down there with Militia Marine. We're going to be looking to get involved in that, the NFR, and because that is a great deal that is there to help support military families and such. And so yeah, man, that was basically the work we were out here doing. The golf tournament, Outdoor Colorado, Frank and Josh Villa, Chad Brecky, that entire team over there, Outdoor Colorado, getting us in with there to be able to set up at their golf tournament. It was because of that golf tournament that we got introduced to and then eventually worked with at the end of the season here, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Somebody that was up in Greeley got a flyer from me at one of the holes there, and months later handed it off to a guy, a contact that happens to work at the IBEW 111 down in Aurora, Colorado. And that's how he got our information. So fantastic deal. We're looking next year to have a lot of work with the IBEW 111 over there. They're the entire organization and all the linesmen in there are first responders, but on top of that, they have a veteran support group inside that union there. And so we're looking to double down on that and help those guys and get some fishing trips lined up on a regular basis with them for sure. So, dude, that was this entire season in a nutshell, if you will. None of this, none of it would have been possible without Stanley Lake. Stanley Lake's involvement, their partnership, Michael Gately and his entire team over there, what they did was second to none, man. Stanley Lake Regional Park, the way those rangers roll out the red carpet for us, the way they work with us, their hospitality, their dedication to keeping the park clean and safe for our participants to show up there. Man, we just can't say enough good about them. City of Westminster, we joined the Chamber of Commerce there in support of that. Jamie Chavez and her team over there, we're excited to be doing more and more stuff with them, and really just showing our presence in the Westminster, Colorado community over there. We're extremely thankful. The camping over there is phenomenal. Everything about Stanley Lake, man, there's something to do over there. There's hiking, there's fishing, there's pond fishing that you can go do, just a little walk down. Of course, the kayaking side of things, the camping, bird watching, all kinds of wildlife running around the park, the nature center there, and just some cool things, coming down the pike. Just really cool there at Stanley Lake. Their partnership means the world to us, and we're excited about what next year is going to hold basically for that. This is a great segment for us to get into talking about the sponsors from this entire season. So, as you know, I used to tournament fish quite a bit. Had just a great stable of sponsors that helped me down the road. They helped me enter tournaments. They helped me financially. They helped me with product, marketing, you name it. As the time has gone on, we've pulled back from the tournament scene really. We'll do a handful of them here and there, but we're not interested in AOI stuff or really trying to go out there and be some consistent competitor somewhere. That's just not what floats our boat anymore. Going and fishing a couple of these and hanging out with the guys, being a part of the whole thing, that's really what we're interested in. The guys and gals, about this, that's what makes, it's the community over there. And so we'll stay involved there. We're looking forward, hopefully, that we had a good weekend here of some good bonding and some good time there, and things went well for all, and everybody was safe, around the board. But to do this stuff requires what we're doing with the TPO. We pulled back from a lot of sponsors that we had because they really weren't interested in doing much with us on the TPO. So at that point, we just agreed to go different directions there, and we shook hands. Everything was great, and we kind of moved on from a few of these. And the ones that did say they wanted to stick with us have now just cemented their position with us. And it's these companies that help us provide the best gear, the best experience, and we rely on their equipment and their customer service and their backing every time we go out. So we wanted to take a real quick minute here and kind of go over who it is that we have out there. Of course, let me see here. So bear with me as we pull up some of these files here. All right, here we go. So first and foremost, none of this stuff happens without the support of the Romans Warrior Foundation. And I used a no background one, so pardon me on that. Actually, I can, there we go. Oh, and it's black too. Isn't that great? Romans Warrior Foundation, man. No one has helped us more than Brian Romans and this entire organization, from the conception of the TPO to the continued encouragement. I get text weekly from the guy, just keeping me in the game, keeping my head in the game. And the Romans Warrior Foundation is just there to serve, man. That is the entire ethos of that organization, is there to serve in one way, fashion, or form, and bring more healing across the deal. And Romans helps Romans Warrior Foundation, their field ops division, which is what the TPO manages. That's where we fit in line there. That thing has become so intricate in what we do out here, week in and week out, month in, month out, year in and year out. And so yeah, Romans Warrior Foundation is at the heart and soul of what keeps us moving. Of course, coming up next would be, no question, veteran-owned, American-made kayaks. NuCanoe. Blake Young, his entire team, Brian over there, the whole group over there, Lori on the inside and her team. Man, one of the smartest things we did was locking shields with NuCanoe. They work with us and give us the ability to get kayaks when we need them, inside our budget, so that we can work and go through this. They're not a massive company, right? We're a small company that's out there, but it's American-made kayaks. This is obviously it's important, right? American-made products. On top of that, it's a veteran-owned organization. Blake Young's a U.S. Navy vet. So we're supporting those that support us out there. And NuCanoe, when we take people out, stability is the number one. And I don't know how many guys we've taken out there, and their comments are just how smooth of a ride. They love the ride of the Unlimited or the U10 that we take them out in. And they immediately start, wanting to know what these things cost and how to get into them. And that's the other side, is that our price points are not the most expensive and not the cheapest. We're right in the middle. We're affordable quality is what you're getting out there with NuCanoe. I know my Unlimited is just the only thing I'm going to fish out of, and for right now. We couldn't be happier with our relationship with NuCanoe, and we're looking forward to picking it up even bigger coming in the future here with the next iteration of where we're going with these things. So stay tuned with us. We'll see how things are going there. But check it out. If you ever want a demo ride, we're around. Got it, U10s and Unlimiteds. That's what we'll put you in, and we'll show you exactly why we trust these for brand new people, or we trust these for very experienced, kayak anglers that are out there. Either way, these are the machines that we use, and you'll see why people love them so much and why we love them. Next on the list, in no particular order per se, but just next on the list, this one's really close to home for us, has to be none other, Denver, Colorado-based Eagle Claw Fishing. Man, we all know this organization, right? Since we were kids, 100 years of business they just celebrated. The only American-made fish hooks that are out there. And it's not. Eagle Claw is Wright and McGill. That's the mothership. Eagle Claw is the main name that everybody knows. But what they spun off there as well. Let's see here. Yeah, so what they spun off as well, Laser Sharp. That's kind of your middle of the line. Each one of this is American steel, man. It's poured here, it's formed here, it's sharpened here, and then of course go to that next level, Trocar. This is the elite level of hooks and such that you're going to get out there from Eagle Claws, the Trocar brand. We trust in Trocar probably for almost all of the stuff that we take people out with. They learn about the TK150 drop shot hook. They learn about the Nico hook. They learn about the worm hook, the EWG All of those, they see that they're using that gear. When you have guys that are hooking on a lift and reel on a drop shot, and they need pliers to get that hook buried out of the mouth because they've hooked in, it's penetrated so well. It's proof in the pudding. They get a chance to see that. As we go forward, we want to make sure that we've got little packs that we can hand out, because right now we give out what we can where we can. Just because of our size right now, we have to be careful with that so we don't run out of things too quick. But yeah, that's Eagle Claw has stuck with us through this whole deal. And talk about another guy that just reads the room, knows people, and is just one of the coolest humans you'll run across, is Eric Ali. He and his wife Leslie are just two super cool people, but specifically Eric at Eagle Claw, his support and his desires of who they want on their team and around. We're honored to be a part of that and be included with that. So Eagle Claw has done amazing stuff for us, and we're again super proud to be a part of that family there. Next on our list here, let's see here. Let me bring a couple of these up here real quick. Next on the list, Amped Outdoors. Matt and his team over there at Amped Outdoors, located up in Wisconsin. Every one of the TPO kayaks that you take out on a field ops is electric powered. Every one of the TPO kayaks that are electric powered are running Amped Outdoors batteries. And that's not because we like the logo. Okay? It's because you want to make sure that if you're going to skimp in some area of kayak fishing, don't do it in the battery, the lithium battery that's sitting right behind you. For the love of Pete, the potential for issue there on cheaply built equipment is not something you want to toy around with. Equally, you don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of money out there. Okay, Amped Outdoors is priced properly, and I'm telling you folks, they won't say this, but I'll say it because I've seen it firsthand. I've been to their factory. I've seen their Frankenstein bench where they had major name competitors' batteries opened up, and they were looking at the quality of build. And I'm telling you right now, there's only one out there that can rival the quality of the build on the internal gut works of one of our lithium batteries. And that was, not important, but I'm telling you right now, the rest of them that are out there, big name, high dollar, trusted names that you've heard forever, you open those things up and it looks like, possibly a high school science team put it together with not a lot of great understanding. I mean, from the quality of the cells used to the quality of the build and the organization of the batteries, Amped Outdoors, man, it's who we trust. We're going out there. It's our safety. It's our ability to get these people out on the water and get them back, right, every time. And we trust Amped Outdoors. Matt has done amazing things to help support the TPO and help us, with a small budget, get things done there. Their support of our mission and our organization is just something that we don't take lightly. We love working with them and are looking forward to working with them in the future. Talked about Eagle Claw. That's your first point of contact, is your terminal tackle, right? The hook. But the next thing in line is your fishing line. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of fishing line out there. And people are going to have different opinions on this, and I get it, dog. But I'm telling you right now, I've spent a ridiculous amount of money on some high-end this and that. I'll put Vicious Fishing next to it. Match it all day long at a fraction of the cost. It really boils down to me personally, the people in the company that I'm working with, right? If products are good across the board and everybody's products got this or that, then to me the other things, customer service, who is the organization, what do they stand for, where are they going? Greg and his team at Vicious Fishing, dog, that's American made through and through. Their braid, all of their no-fade braid, and the majority of the braid is going to be manufactured right here in the U.S. from here on out. That's fantastic. He's working on the other lines, to figure out ways with that. But above all, this is a very patriotic and a very supportive organization with our mission, with other missions that are out there. Their customer service has always been phenomenal. Vicious Fishing, man. Get Vicious. Go check them out. That's who we trust and use every one of our outings. People are throwing and using Vicious Fishing line out there. And we're not breaking line off. We're not having problems. We're not needing to re-spool every 2 trips and all that good stuff. We spool up once at the beginning of the year, provided no snarfs or anything to come through there. We're good for the season and then some. We change it out. Probably don't have to at every season, but we do just to make sure that we've got good clean line everywhere. But yeah, man, Vicious Fishing, they have continued to support us, and that's it, man. That's the low number, right, of the organizations that we work with that help us on the daily from collaborating partners, but those are the fishing side of things of who we work with out there that brings all this together for us, and it helps us put on just amazing events. Speaking of amazing events, we just concluded a Ranger and First Responder Appreciation Weekend at Stanley Lake. Now, I love the men and women of Stanley Lake Rangers. I love y'all. We love all of our first responders. But I will say, not many showed up for this thing. We did have a few that were able to come through. So we felt like we did okay with the notifications of this stuff, and we had several people on the inside sending out information. But all this means is that next year we're going to start advertising this thing way early to make sure that everybody knows whether they're working or not, they're invited to come by. But we still did have some people. I had bigger visions about how many of the folks we wanted to say thank you to them for this. And we'll adjust, we'll figure things out, and we'll go forward. And we'll make sure that next year we do it bigger and better. And we'll bring them in. But what we did have show up, I'll tell you what. We talk about quantity and quality a lot. In the grant game for nonprofits, they want to know quantity. They're always looking for how many people did you serve? How many people did you have contact with? That always got underneath my skin, because I'd rather have amazing contact with 10 people, knowing that we made a difference in their lives, their week, their day. I'd rather have that than okay non-personal contact with 100. So quality's always been more important to me on this. So while I had these big dreams about how many people we wanted to help and say thank you to this last weekend, I got to tell you, the people that did show up, you could see the impact. You could see the gratefulness. You could see the just fun they had from this entire weekend that we spent over there. And that was it, man. That's really all I needed. To see that, knowing that we made a difference somewhere there, from families. We had, of course, our veteran community coming in there and sharing food with us that we set up. It was everything we had hoped for from the quality side of things. That's what we set out to do. So next year, we'll make sure we arrange it. Heroes on the Water helping us with this, putting their kayaks on display. We talked to many people about the Heroes on the Water programs, the therapeutic programs that we do with them out there at Stanley Lake. And yeah, it was amazing. Let's go ahead and let me start rolling through a couple pictures here that we have of this. Let's see here. Okay, so some of these aren't going to show up. Thanks to our brother Jay, Army combat vet, also has an amazing eye. He put together just some great photography for us. Community Heroes Weekend at Stanley Lake. This picture he took the Friday night of the event there as we're sitting around the campfire. He's just such a guy's got a great graphic eye for this stuff, and put together some really cool shots for us from this deal. But that was basically our Friday night there. Let's see. We'll start. Bear with me 1 second here. We're gonna punch all these up. So yeah. So let's just go through it here. That was our first night there, Friday night, getting set up. Then, first thing on Saturday morning, we hosted a breakfast weekend here, and it was presented by none other than Snooze in Westy at 104th. Jamie, her entire team over there, love them to death. Talk about community stepping up and helping. This was our camp. Tables were off to the right there. Got the banner put up for them. They provided some incredible food. A breakfast, a feast for kings here. We did get a chance to feed pretty much every one of the Rangers that was working that day. They had to obviously sneak by and come through and grab a plate and eat, in between on their shifts and such. So couldn't do it all at once. But yeah. What an amazing, amazing spread that Jamie and her team basically provided for us. It was unbelievable. If you've never had Snooze, it's worth the deal. Go check them out. The food was insane. I was glad that I ate proper the day before so I could have me some pancakes and such first thing in the morning here. We sat around. This was towards the end of breakfast here. My wife and I sitting around the table. And brother Jason there. We had Gabe and his friend there. Gabe's a U.S. Army vet, and yeah, we were just prepping things and getting ready to head down, and get the kayak set up because we had two trailers that we had to go get set up down there, and get all of that deployed out. Let's see here. I'm going to load up some of these pictures to share with you. So bear with me 1 second. Almost there. Almost there. Where are we at? There we go. And one more. All right. So yeah, man, we wanted to get, we had to get done with breakfast, head down there. My wife, bless her heart, she stayed up at the camp there, helped feed the Rangers as they could come through over the course of the morning there, and then she came down to join us. But we get down there, both of our trailers, and we start getting things set up, man. And the very first thing, getting the tent up there, we had our TPO kayaks on display here with motors. We had the Howe kayaks all down on the beach. The team working like crazy together, bringing their families down. It was just super cool to see the entire TPO team and our supporters and people that wanting to volunteer and help us come down here and just and go to work. Right? It was awesome to set this kind of stuff up. We had to go through and get all the gear and get everything displayed out here. Here comes another great shot that Jay gave for us. Just showing the TPO and New Canoe together. This is our U10 that we were basically just taking a look at that U10 to see, gearing it out with motor on the back and seeing, just taking a peek at stuff, seeing how it, would lay out. And then of course we had the Howe kayaks all on display. This is for the Denver Therapeutic Program. This is what we were letting people take out and test, paddle around. We weren't doing the motors unless somebody had experience with the TPO ones. But all folks had to do here was sign a liability waiver, and then they could take these out just to see what the Diablos were all about, and the kayaks that we used there through Heroes on the Water. Launching people, like I said, if they had experience with our gear, then we'd basically put them out there. And we had Brother Joe out here. He was taking his kids out in one of our Unlimiteds. And so yeah, the beach, the water's pretty low, so you got to paddle a little bit to get out till you can drop the motor. You see that Newport on the back there. But what an amazing day, man! It was so cool to talk with the public, work with our team, our volunteers, spend time with them. just hanging out there and talking about the TPO and our mission, and the awesome work that we were seeing on display out there. Like I said, it was heartwarming, and I'm very grateful to have the people surrounding us that help us on this mission. That evening, we wrapped it up. We went back up to camp after we loaded everything back up. About 5 o'clock range is when we wrapped it up, 5:30. And I got a picture of Gabe with the sunset in the background here. And Gabe was able to bring his family over and join in for dinner with us. We had some barbecue there that the TPO went and purchased from GQ in town. And just getting everybody around. We had the team here. We had family here. There's more people off the camera. It was just a great dinner and just good food, good company, talking about things all around the campfire, if you will. And just a great deal. Super cool to share and break bread with these folks, knowing that the mission's pushing, man. This is what we're here for. Family first, and make sure that we're reaching who we need to reach with this. So the event, like I said, we learned a lot of cool lessons, but the quality for the folks that were there, I think it was there. I think it hit, and we know what we can do for next year and how to improve it, make it even better. Leading up to it and pushing forward. So listen, man, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, as you see the banner at the bottom of the page here, this is recorded, but if you have questions, if you're interested in how you can help us, we need volunteers, flat out. I am actively looking for people that have some bandwidth that we can take out, get to know them if I don't already know you, and find people that are capable of showing up at Stanley, grabbing the trailer, going down and loading out the gear for our participants, and taking them out and showing them an amazing time on the water. I need help in that regard, because just me only doing that, it pulls away from a lot of areas. So unfortunately, while that is the most fun thing to do, I need to also stay focused on the executive work that we need to do, building relationships and continuing to build a foundation that makes the True Patriot Outfitters something that will be here long after I am done and retired and out of the game. We want this mission to carry forward. We want it to be something that we can build this chapter here in the state and then take it to other states around the Midwest and around the nation, that we can build out and do the very same thing. Collaborating, big deal. So we're looking for volunteers always. If you have a kayak, if you enjoy getting out, if it's weekends only that you can do, cool. Whatever it is, if you're interested in what your first and foremost issue when you go out there is the safety of the people you take out. And you've got to believe in the mission and know why we're taking these folks out. Number one, it's to get them outdoors, get them on the water. And then obviously catching fish at Stanley Lake doesn't hurt. And I can help you in that regard. Stanley can be tough, but you can ask the people that went out with us this year. We had an amazing year for fishing at Stanley Lake. The fishery is just getting healthier and healthier there. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. We need help in that regard. We're forming some really cool things. Be looking for a webinar. We're going to have a webinar coming together here, talking about what it is, what 2026 is going to look like. A lot of the cool things that we're going to build on from this year, our targets, what we're trying to expand to, what we're going to do for next year. So we're going to be putting that together and open that. It'll be an invite-only webinar. So if you're interested in that, hit us up on the DMs. We'll get it checked out. We'll get you in there. That's going to do it, folks. We're going to wrap this thing up here. Like I said, thank you all so very much for your continued support and backing and following us, along the way, everywhere we go. Couldn't do any of this stuff without you folks. Chime in here, throw some comments in. If you've got an idea of somebody you think we should be putting on the show here, hit me up. We've got a wide range here. Obviously, anything in the veteran space, first responder space, we're interested in. Fishing, always a good backup there. We love to talk fishing wherever we can there. And hopefully, by the time I come back to you, be watching on our social media channels. I'm sure I'll be dropping some videos here about how the weekend went, and we'll see how it goes there. My bottom line is, as long as I get to go hang out with the people that I love being around, I get a chance to get on the water and do some fishing, and everybody's safe, it's going to be a great weekend. That's literally where my head's at these days. So anything else that happens there is just gravy. Because at the end of the day, we're putting priorities where they need to be put, and just being there with people that you care about, people that you love, and keeping those connections going, man. We talk about that all the time. Keep those connections going. Do not isolate, and get out, volunteer, get outdoors, go for a walk, volunteer, come talk to the TPO. We can use you somewhere. We can always use help in some area, whether you have a kayak or not. We'll find some stuff that we can use some help with. So, all right, folks, that's going to do it. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. Tune in next week on Sunday. Chances are we should be live for that one. So come on back and tune in. We'll be back again next Sunday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain. As always, folks, tight lines. Be safe. And please, take care of each other out there.